What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Covers Live. I'm David Wilson, and we're back with another live stream where we get together as a community and talk about whatever topic I've come up with for the week. And I just realized that the title of the stream up there is wrong, so that's just the way it is this week. I'll tell you why. Let me know if you think the video and the audio are a little bit out of sync. I can see my mouth moving on the other screen at a different rate. Or at a delay to where I hear my voice, so I don't know if it's like that in the stream. Hopefully not, but anyway, my goodness. Also, let me know. Ooh. I was about to say, let me know if the audio on the microphone is too high, and then I saw it clipping, so I got my answer to that question. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. Hopefully this week will be less adventurous of a stream than last week's stream, because we had quite a number of technical issues at the very beginning. MD Explain says your mouth is moving with you when you talk. That's good. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, we had a lot of problems last week. The first problem was that OBS, whenever I upgraded Geeks, apparently the browser integration was not working. So I didn't have any ability to screen share or have my chat overlay on the screen anymore. So that was fun. And then there was also something else. What else happened? There was something else that happened too. Oh yeah, like a lost audio, and I had to restart the stream because of that. So there were just another series of bad things happening. And I'll tell you what happened this week, because I can't go a single week without there's something really stupid happening. This week, my lovely Framework 13 laptop, which I really like quite a lot, maybe 2 days ago, I noticed that the part of the body of the laptop where the touchpad is started raising. I think that obviously, if you've ever seen this before, this is a classic battery swelling issue. And I think it's just because it gets too hot in the summer. Not that summer. It gets too hot in the summer in Greece. And also I keep my laptop plugged in all the time and it stays at like 100% charge. So apparently, that's just a recipe for having your battery swell. If you have a lithium-ion battery and you're, no flying for that, Lappy, says CMAC. That's right, CMAC. By the way, CMAC, I tried to get your fork of OBS WebSocket set up today, and I think it's just I need to reboot Geeks or reboot my window manager, but I'm looking forward to using that again. Anyway, because the battery was swelling, I had to take it out of my laptop, but I still have it plugged in right now. I've got it in like batteryless mode, basically, so it's working. It's fine. Jfred says, spicy pillow. It is kind of like a spicy pillow. It was kind of thick looking whenever I took it out. So yeah, that was another little thing. And now I've got my laptops in different positions now. So if you see me looking around all confused, it's because I have the laptop that I was using on the left side, that side, on this side now, and the other laptop's on that side. And prior to that, it was switched again. So it's just a mess, man. The things I do for you people, the things I do to come here almost every Friday and put on a haphazard and a show of questionable quality, let's say. Anyway, let me see who's here in the chat. Give me a second. Oh, I can't scroll up with my... Is that the battery from the Framework? Yeah, that's the one that came in it. And I'm pretty sure I'm covered by warranty, so they should replace it. But I sent them a support message saying, oh, my battery is swelling. Should I take it out? Should I be using my laptop like this? And they never replied. So, That's okay, CMAC. I mean, like, all it really needed was this change that you made to get it where it would work again. So I think it will work. I just haven't tried it yet. Let me zoom. Let me zoom up a little bit here. God, I keep changing keyboards all the time, and I'm getting confused here. Okay. Hello to Fade, Luis, Auntie, I'm sorry, I don't know how you pronounce your name. Erky, Arnaud, Benoit. Let's see, who else do I see in the chat here? Bergheimer, CMAC, J-Fred, Glenn, and Jeff. Let me see who's on the YouTube side. MD Explains, Glenn C. Jones. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Let's see, who else? Artie, I can't read that far away. I'm getting old. Ed, Thing2, DMT, oh boy, Garlixes. Yes, thank you all for being here so far. I was also working today on trying to get the chat overlay improved a little bit. You can see little green dots on the chat. Oh, hello to No Namer. You can see little green dots on the chat over there. That's to identify the IRC messages, but soon we'll have YouTube and Twitch messages showing up there as well, because I've got my AI assistant writing the Restream chat API integration in Guile, which, as you saw last week, its ability to write Guile is somewhat impressive, but also ends up with invented function names and other kinds of stuff that you have to go deal with. But it will work. I think it will work anyway. It'll be fun to have that in here also. Hello to Nullbath. Auntie says, this is the Geek Show we are happy to see you watch. Yeah, we won't be doing, I guess we'll do some Geeks today, a little bit of Geeks. Binma says, just sit outside, safer. Yeah, I guess it would be, maybe. Luis says, we're so grateful for your sacrifices, possible explosions, and all. Yes, I know. I'm literally sitting on a bomb to be here today. I shouldn't say that word on a YouTube stream. Bergheimer says, I feel like this might be a better nick than Night HK. I don't know. Maybe. I'm turning into a vibe coder. No, I only do that whenever it's a tool that I would like to have, but I really don't have the time to write it. So I just tell my my intern to go write it for me, and then I have to like deal with all the problems that it caused to get the thing to work. But like, let's say maybe 60 to 70% of the code is usable, and then the rest I have to go tweak. But I don't know, like, it will make the channel better to be able to have stuff that I don't have time to write, like having better chat integration and stuff, which things I've been meaning to do for like literal years now. And we're gonna have it, so I don't know, man. It's the world we live in. Dazaj says, it's nerding time. It sure is. Berkheimer says, I'm having a beer. Whew, I could use one of those right now. I've been working pretty hard this week on the new job. Fun stuff. Maybe I'll talk about it sometime. But it's been like heavy duty trying to figure out how to wire things up in JavaScript bundlers and module systems and React components and all kinds of stuff like that. So my brain is kind of swimming right now, which is why I'm doing a stream where I'm talking about terminal applications and nothing harder than that, because I'm just totally shot this week. Bergheimer says, I'm not surprised, but surprised you finally succumbed. I didn't finally succumb. I've been using ChatGPT just to ask it questions and stuff for ever since probably 2023. But the agentic coding thing I have not done until recently because I was curious. And it has its uses, but obviously if you've used these kind of tools before, you already know that your job is not at risk because they're pretty dumb. I'm having VIP viewers at the moment. How's that? Because you're in Vienna? I almost said Vienta because I saw Purple G say agentic. So we're gonna invent a new kind of coding here today, the Vientic model. Okay, anyway. So what else? What else has been going on? I think that's about it. Oh, so hey, Seek. Seek says, what keyboard did you finally settle with? I am using the Happy Hacking Keyboard Studio. It's quite good. I like it a lot. I'm having fun. It's nice to be able to switch between multiple machines, though it is a little bit flaky. What I've noticed is that with my Geeks machine, every time the Linux kernel version changes when I do a system update, either the Bluetooth works better or it's worse, and it like kind of flakes out every now and then. So it's kind of annoying from that perspective. But I don't think it's the keyboard's fault. I think it's the Bluetooth drivers. No music. There is music. It's just very low. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to raise that up either. Don't listen to David about keyboards. Why? My criteria are golden. Anyway. Okay. So, as usual, I don't have show notes started yet. Hey, Anders, sorry. Man, I'm not doing well today. We're going to see how this goes. All right. No music. There is music. I can hear it. It's just low. I got to get the show notes started. So, project site, systemcrafters.net, content, live streams. August. Let's see, what was the other August? Is it even here? Did I sync the notes? How did I not? Oh, the reason why I don't have the notes is because we did the stream on the other machine last week. Tedno says, has anyone tried Niri Window Manager on Geeks yet? I don't know if Glenn's on Geeks anymore, but definitely he was using Niri. Yes, there is a custom channel. It is called Rosenthal Channel. No. Hako. There we go. A certain Geeks channel. I'm pretty sure Niri is in here. Let's see. Packages. Wait. What? That's not what I expected to see. Did he? Oh, modules. Rosenthal. Packages. Window Manager. Oh, remove Niri. Is it upstreamed? Uh-oh. Niri apparently is upstream now. Peter says Niri landed in Maine lately. Well, that's cool. I have not tried it yet. I've been thinking about doing a stream on that for a while, but I never got back to that. Mainly because I'm not sure I would actually get anything useful out of it. You have unstaged changes. Well, no kidding. Let me see. Let's create a little stash here before pull. And then I'm going to pull that again. The one thing I don't like about the keyboard is that oh, give me a break. The keycaps are black. The letters in the keycaps are black, and I can't see them. And sometimes I have to look from the side to catch a glint of the light to see what the key is. You would think that I would be a touch typer after all this time, but actually I'm not. I found out pretty fast that I am not a touch typer. In fact, I look at the keys quite often to figure out which number I'm about to press, or for special keys, especially on this keyboard where the layout is a little bit different. So, yeah. Beargeimer says, you only need Emacs. Jesus, all this talk about window managers. I don't understand it. You're a liar. You're not just using Emacs, are you? Purple T says, the keys don't move. Well, my brain doesn't remember them, okay? Hey, Alice. Benoit says, you need my keyboard to learn touch typing. I believe you. Okay. Let's try this again. What is it called? Pin entry, stop. Pin entry, start. Prompt me, fool. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I was rude to you, computer. August 20 what? There it is. 22nd. Is that it? All right, cool. I just got to rip myself off here. August 29th. Is that today? 2025.org. This one's called a really ridiculous title. Text. What is it called? Terminal Tools for Text Titans. Why did I call it that? Because I got to make it sound more interesting than it really is, unfortunately. Let me go over here real quick and grab the video ID for this. You get to watch all the magic happen here. All right, so I don't know what other news has been going on this week because, as I said, I've been working. I'm an alliteration monster. Yes, well, you know, sometimes alliteration is nice. It makes the title more memorable. So that's the way I decided to do it today. Sports ball reference. Yeah, Titan. I guess Titan is kind of a sports thing now, right? So Emacs Conf 2025, call for proposals, deadline is September 19th. That says more interesting than it really is. Did I just get scammed? I don't know. I mean, what do you really come to a System Crafter stream expecting to see? Do you expect to see high production value, well planned and produced content, or you expect to see me just bumbling around with something and making something marginally funny or interesting out of it? I think probably the latter. So I think you'll get what you came for today, because that's just the way it goes. Fade says, we come for the struggle. You know, I'm starting to realize that more and more, and I don't know that I like it. Testing tasty terminal tools for talented text titans. Yes, that one is pretty good. System Crafter streams, same as 2019. Well, they didn't happen then. Not yet. 2020. I think I was a little bit more prepared in 2020 because that was the only videos I was making, just the streams. Okay, so yes, Emacs Conf 2025, the deadline for proposals is September, what did it say? This is too small, isn't it? Should I bump the, let's see. Config, sway, config. Let me bump up the screen. It's gonna look real big, probably. Let me know what you think. I wonder if the screen sharing is still gonna work after I do this. Yeah, okay. Is that too big? Maybe that's good. Anyway, the conference is December 6th and 7th, but the call for proposals is open until September 19th. So if you want to give a talk at Emacs Conf, which I highly recommend, you should submit a proposal. They're either 5 to 10 minute lightning talks or 20-minute talks. So it's not a huge investment. And if I've learned anything about my ability to write talks, 20 minutes is about the limit of the amount of time that I can spend with a prepared talk. With a rambling live stream, I can go for 2 to 3 hours. But yeah. Anyway, the point is, you should definitely consider submitting a proposal to Emacs Conf 2025. Size of the font is good? Good. All right, good enough. It looks huge to me on my 32-inch screen. No. What is no? So I hope to see many of you submitting proposals and having your talk accepted there. You can talk about whatever you want related to Emacs, I think. It's a good conference. You should check it out for sure. Let me check one more thing here. I'm probably like playing my own stream to myself 2 or 3 times. Yeah, I definitely am. All right. Auntie says, I think Cal submitted something. That's good. I'm glad Cal submitted. I think that was the thing about the text-to-speech, wasn't it? All right. So tell me, is there any other news this week? Is there anything else interesting happening in the world of system crafting that I missed because I was stuck in JavaScript land the entire time? Please don't cry for me. You know, it's a sad thing, but it's necessary. You know, I have to have money for my family to eat. So I'm writing JavaScript code all day. Or it's more like I'm writing markdown files describing how I plan to write JavaScript code. It's more like that. Okay. Will I submit one? I don't know. Hey, Mike. Mike says, I look at my keys as well. I come expecting David to wax poetically. Yes, well, I'm definitely waxing. Oof. Waxing, not in the depilation sense. Is that the right way to pronounce that word? Agent.md. Agentic Markdown. Did I say something like that? No, not for that. More like me just doing it myself. ChatGPT is my consultant. But other than that, I'm writing myself. Okay. So, nothing else. Nothing else. That's cool. Anywho, today, wondering if you're being forced to write JavaScript like that. Blink twice if you need help. I'm not being forced to do anything. I'm doing it out of choice. Because who wants to be sitting around writing JavaScript all day? So anyway, usually what I try to do every week when I come up with an idea for a stream is to connect it to something that I'm actually doing. And this week, I wasn't doing a whole lot on my own configuration. But what I did do this morning was I was on my MacBook for work, and I was trying to get the Jabber mode installed in Emacs so I could connect to my XMPP server, which I want to talk about a little bit later in the context of something. But I was trying to get jabber.el set up, and I was fighting with use package and the VC keyword there to try to get it pulled down from the repo because it's not on Melpa, and I kind of like I'm refusing to just add Melpa to my configurations anymore because I don't want all the stuff that's in Melpa. Not because I don't like what's in Melpa. It's just like that's kind of the place where you're going to get all the stuff that just re-implements everything in Emacs. I don't really care too much. I'd rather just stick to the the standard Elpa repos. I'm not a Melpa hater. I just don't want to use it. So I can't install jabber.el from Melpa, so I have to get it from source. Geeks has it in the repos, so I don't have that problem in Geeks. So anyway, because I had some trouble and I just really didn't feel like dealing with it, I was like, let me just look for XMPP clients on Mac OS and see what's there. And I looked at a couple of graphical ones, and I was like, this is kind of boring. And then I remembered there's one called Profanity that is a terminal-based XMPP client, and I loaded it up, and it was a very nice experience, and we're going to see it in a little bit. But it made me think a little bit like, okay, like I spend a lot of time in Emacs. I try to do as much as I can in Emacs in terms of the tools that I use, and I don't really go to terminal applications for many of the things that I do in Emacs. But what if I did? Like, what if I actually tried to look at some interesting terminal-based applications to do some of the things that you would do in Emacs just for fun? I don't know, let's just take a look at things that are around. Some things that are in Emacs, some things that aren't. And I'm definitely interested to hear suggestions from the audience if people have other things they want to see if we have time. But today, the ones that I intend to show are Profanity, which is an XMPP client, NNN, which is a file browser. I'm sure many of you have heard of other ones like Ranger and Midnight Commander, which is a clone of Norton Commander, which has been around forever and ever. We're not going to look at that one. And Berghammer is saying, oh God, what for? Then also CMUS, which is a music player. Fade says, I like this one called Dear Ed. Yes, well, for me, I'm going to continue to use Dear Ed, but I'm curious just to see what this one looks like. And then there's also something called BTOP++, which is a system monitor, which I think you're going to be kind of impressed by it. So let's check out some terminal tools. Fade says, I use BTOP. BTOP is awesome. So just for fun, today we're going to check out some terminal-based applications that might overlap with things you can do in Emacs. Okay. Auntie says, CMUS is awesome. I'd use it a lot. Yeah, to me, it looks good. So, Peter, LazyGit looks really good. I don't think it's packaged in Geeks, though. That's the only reason why I didn't add that to the list. I almost did, though. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about the CMUS in a minute. Tenno says, Brett on Penguin's YouTube channel has been covering Linux 2i pretty well over time, music players, etc., and her videos are 10 minutes length usually, so easy to watch. Yes, that's the kind of videos I should be making, but I just can't do it. I just keep talking. What is NXI? LazyGit has magic vibes. Magic, yeah, it does have magic vibes, that's for sure. Let's see. Let me pull up the Geeks REPL here. Seek says, may you also add links to your list. Has Vim mode as well. Yeah, links. I'm not sure that I would go as far as links. Let's see. What am I looking for? INXI. What is that? System information script that can display various things about your hardware and software users to an IRC chat room or support forum. That's kind of interesting. That sounds kind of like something I want to do with XMPP. Artie says, I want terminals to be more code is data like Emacs. Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, Thomas. Thomas says, VTM is a text-based desktop environment. DVTM, tiling window management for the console. Is this the same thing or is it something else? Oh, direct VT VTM. What's happening? Okay, so it's like CMUS, kind of. I know I'm being reductive by saying it's like CMUS, but maybe it is. I don't know. INXI is a command tool to have hardware spec right away. RMPC? Vim? No, not Vim. Come on. Yes, Bergheimer, Emacs is a tiling window manager for the console. That's the reason why I don't bother trying to use other ones. And Seek says, I think DVTM lost its popularity to TMUX, and they both lost their popularity to, what was that other one we looked at? It has a weird name. I forgot it. It was written in Rust. All right. So anywho, is that what we got? Zalige. Thank you very much. Zalige is the other one. We don't need to look at that one again. Trip says, I use Time Warrior, which is a pretty extensive time tracking tool. Yeah, I was actually looking at Task Warrior earlier today, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. FZF as a vertical replacement is pretty good too. I haven't used FZF. I think it's in interactive command line filter usable with any list, including files, command history, processes, and more. That's kind of cool. Zalige is still green. Yeah, well, it's kind of ambitious too. I think that's part of the problem. Okay, so those are the ones that I want to look at. CMAX says, I've always called it Zalige. Yeah, I think I read it somewhere that it was called Zalige. I always try to pronounce things correctly. And that's my downfall. Trev says, I can't live without FZF and SCF tab for Z shell. Well, Zoxide. Replacement for your CD command keeps track of your directories you use most frequently. That's kind of cool. I wonder if that works inside of shell mode. It might. FZF rocks. All right, so let me just some others to maybe try. You'll see though that I'm looking for more like incursive style applications, but we could try FZF and maybe Zoxide. Tendo says Zoxide is bee's knees. Atene. That's not in Geeks, unfortunately. I've heard that name before. I've also heard of Eza. And that is in Geeks. It's a replacement for LS. Okay, we're getting into like a whole terminal customization thing here. But yes, eventually. How about WeChat? WeChat, yeah, it definitely falls into the category, but I have a reason why I'm focusing on XMPP here, so I'll talk about that too. What was the other thing I wanted to say? What is Atene, by the way? Ignacio says, I learned from a coworker that Zalige kind of means tile, but is a very nice and artistic type of tile produced in Morocco. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, okay. That was my fault, Trev, or Treve. I didn't say that we were sticking to incursive programs. Okay, so what? How do we want to start here? Do tree, something I've come to use a lot. Basically, shortcuts to other commands. Oh, yes. So one goal is to try and set these up to work well in the foot terminal and maybe wire them into a sway environment to call them up quickly or pin them to workspaces. Things like that. We might do things like that. Atene shares term history on multiple machines. Not really something that I need. I feel like if I'm gonna be slightly judgmental sounding here. I think if you end up needing to sync your command history across multiple machines, probably you've got too much important stuff in your terminal history that needs to go somewhere else. Either needs to be in a script that's checked into source control, or it needs to be in a document somewhere. That's just my opinion. I try not to have too much important stuff held up in terminal history. Git UI, this is TUI. That is here. Fast terminal UI for Git. Is it any good? Lazy Git is pretty good. Zoxide says, I feel called out. I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm just expressing an opinion that I know might burn a little bit. Because I've done the same thing. I used to have bash history files that had like the entire set of steps needed to, you know, like deploy something. And you just kind of go up, 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 up and hit the right command or control R or whatever. And you just can't live like that, in my opinion. It literally has TUI in the name. Yes, so... Okay, so this looks kind of like Lazy Git. Pretty similar, actually. Whoa, this is way too big. Yeah, there we go. I mean, that's fine. Lazy Git is a bit better, though. Lazy Git feels more like a competitor to Magit. Zyman says, I use the new shell. Wow, that's cool. I don't run into many people that are actually using new shell. CMUS says, burning here, always losing my debugging commands for API trace. That's the thing, is you can't rely on that, especially in Emacs, where the command history will get wiped out if Emacs crashes, or if you happen to close, if you have multiple Emacs shell buffers open or eShell buffers open, and you close one and then you close another, it will like overwrite the history of the one that you had. So there are reasons why you cannot depend on shell history. Rod says, I've seen coworkers use these blazing fast Rust programs in an Electron terminal. Kind of funny. Yeah, it is kind of funny, actually. I don't know if the blazing fast meme is really necessary. Okay, anywho. So, let's get started. First of all, Profanity. So, aside from having a cool name, Profanity is an XMPP client. Do you know what XMPP is? Well, some of you probably do, but I would say that others don't. XMPP is the original. Okay, let's not say original, because maybe you could say IRC was federated before that, because it has, you know, different servers that comprise one network. Not really the same kind of federation, though. XMPP is kind of the original federated communication protocol, but it does a lot of other things in that. It's standards based. It also has a lot of extension specifications for different kinds of functionality that you might want to have. It is all XML based, because it was created back whenever everybody still thought XML was cool, before JSON and other things came along. But it has existed for a long time. There's a lot of really good server and client implementations for XMPP. I've started using it again recently because, well, for a few different reasons. I've got like some personal things I want to do with it, like for managing servers and stuff. I kind of want to have like a way for my servers to send me messages, like to give me status updates or to like run commands remotely, things like that. But also, I just like XMPP. One thing that I found is that the XMPP server Prosody is incredibly stable. I set up a server in 2022 with Geeks and put Prosody on there, and I left it running until literally today. And the XMPP server has been running. I could still connect to it from time to time. I wasn't actually using it because I was setting it up for a project that I never ended up going forward with. But the server was running. The XMPP server was running. I was able to connect to it and use it. I was able to connect to group chats on other servers, all the kinds of things that you would expect to do with an XMPP account. And it was all self-hosted inside of a Geek server with SSL certificates and everything else that you would need to have. So compare that to Matrix. Matrix is the more recent federated chat protocol that more people are familiar with. We used to have a chat room in Matrix. It's kind of more like Slack or Discord or the modern kinds of, you know, web-based chat programs. It's super heavyweight. The default server implementation is kind of like, I've never tried to host it before, but from what I understand, it's not such a great experience. And there are other implementations of it that don't really have the same feature set. They're developing new servers in the official project, I think, that are faster, but I don't know. Like, I feel like the ship is kind of sailed to some degree on Matrix, or at least in my mind it has, because I've been there. It was cool. You know, we have a nice Matrix chat client in Emacs by Alpha Papa that we've used for a while. But the story for bridging to other protocols is a little bit shaky at times, especially if you're on a public network like matrix.org. I don't know, there's various different reasons. Like, you are less likely to host your own Matrix server than you would be to host your own XMPP server, because it's way easier to host your own XMPP server. And I would actually argue that it's better to host your own XMPP server, because since you can talk to people that have other servers, it's a federated protocol, you can talk to people on different servers. Why not have your own server and have your data under your control and not use like a public chat service that has your whole chat history, et cetera, et cetera. Now, obviously, if you're talking to somebody on another XMPP server, they have a copy of the chat, so you don't have like 100% privacy, but it's still better than being on someone else's server, I guess. So anyway, XMPP is solid. I like it a lot as a protocol. The Prosody server is really, really good. Easy to set up. Geeks has a good service configuration for it. I might, if people are interested, I might do a stream either next week or very soon to show how you can set up Prosody with like a full feature set with automatic SSL creation, and DNS setup and everything else, so you can actually host one of these yourself using Geeks on Hetzner Cloud, because that's what I'm doing right now. And just to see how easy it is to do it yourself, and you don't really need a beefy machine to do it. So, roll all the way back to the beginning. I use XMPP. I actually connect to IRC through XMPP now through the use of a program called Biboumi, which is an XMPP to IRC gateway. Don't worry about the certificate issue. I don't know why they have a dead certificate. This has been around for a while, and it's quite solid. It took me a little bit to get it set up because I was trying to figure out how to use it correctly, but I've got it running on my own server. I'm connecting to LibreChat with it, and I'm looking at it right now on the other screen to be in the chat for the stream. It's quite good. So I think it might actually be easier to use XMPP as a bridge to other chat services. There's another project called Slidge that provides gateways to other networks. For instance, like Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord, Steam, Facebook Messenger, Matrix, Mattermost, etc. So I've looked at the configuration for this. I haven't set it up yet, but it looks fairly straightforward. So anyway, it's good. So if you use XMPP, then what do you use for a client? Well, if you're in Emacs, probably you would use Jabber.el, which is okay. It's not a bad client. It does work fine. It's actually been around for a very long time. I used to use it way back when I had a different XMPP server, probably back in, what year was that? Probably 2013, 2014. I was using Emacs with, 2014, I think. Emacs with Jabber.el with an XMPP server that I had. It works. But what if you don't want to use Emacs for that? What if you want to use a terminal app and harken back to the days of things like IRSSI or BitchX or any of the other cool terminal-based IRC applications? Well, that's what Profanity is for. Profanity, we're not going to search for Profanity in general because we'll get back a lot of really interesting things, but Profanity is a console-based XMPP client. Fade says, some of us still use the thing this way. Yes, you mean IRSSI? Alice says, no OMemo support in Jabber.el. Yeah, that's true. They do have it in Profanity, though. So this is on pretty much everything. Linux, FreeBSD, OpenBSD, Mac OS, Windows, and Android via Termux, which is cool. I need to try that, actually. It's pretty straightforward, and it's got all the features you really need. Hey, Antonio, nice to see you. Because it's been around for a while. It's been around for quite a while. And it looks like an old IRC client, but that's part of the charm, I think. So let's see. Desaj says, Profanity, you mean like beep and beep and beep? Yeah, like that. Definitely like that. So let me try to get that pulled up then. I'm going to open up a foot terminal, and I am going to run Geeks shell Profanity, just to get it pulled down and run it. And then we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Brungulus says, hey, Brungulus, I remember writing a basic blog on IRSSI a while back if anyone is interested. Brungulus blog IRSSI. Show results. It doesn't show up here. Brungulus at github.io. Brungulus.github.io. There you go. Where is it? Notes. Anyway, it's on that blog somewhere. And we're going to wait and wait and wait for things to come down from the substitute servers. You don't like it because that name? I can understand not using a program because you don't like the name. That's why I don't use Chicken Scheme. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with IRSSI. I mean, come on. By the way, those of you in the YouTube chat, if you want to show up in the chat overlay on the screen up here, you should go to systemcrafters.net/live. Or, I mean, if you go there, you'll see the details connected to the IRC channel where this is all running. But possibly next week, your chat will show up on the screen too. So you don't really need to worry too much about that. Okay, so we're inside of Profanity right now. The colors are a little bit wonky. We could try to change that a little bit, but I'm gonna just go ahead and connect to my JID, my user ID for Jabber. Put in my little password, and then it's gonna load up all the things I'm already connected to in chat channels. So if I hit Alt and 2, this is basically the chat for the stream right now because I'm connected to the Systemcrafters-live channel on IRC.Libre chat through the Biboumi bridge, and I'm wired up there, so you can see all the people that are in the chat. This is actually coming from the bridge, all the names that are visible here. So it's doing something called puppeting, where if you have a bridge that is connected to another network, it can actually make there be names in the group chat for all the people who are on the chat on the other network. So you can, mention people, or you can send them private messages. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can even add them to your roster so that you can have them there as a contact and send them messages over time, which is something that you couldn't really do. I mean, you could do with the IRC, but you have to have a good bouncer setup. So just another selling point for XMPP with IRC. You don't need an IRC bouncer anymore because your XMPP server is basically your IRC bouncer because it already stores conversation and chat history if you configure it right. So you can always go back in time and look at what's been said in the channel. So I basically connected to the channel here, the System Crafters channel, and I can just scroll back in time here. Well, not too far apparently, but wait, which one is this? Anyway, there's not a whole lot of history there, but there is on my other machine here. Now I'm flipping back and forth trying to get back to this thing I was in. The key bindings are very similar to my workspace switch bindings, and I very quickly get tangled up in them. All right, here we go. Looking at that screen, yes. So anyway, let me tweak the theme a little bit here. There's some nice commands in the program that will allow you to cycle through things like the themes that are available. Let's go to the Batman theme. How about that? That's a little bit like uglier. I don't know. Theme load, theme list. Uh-oh, somebody's touching their YubiKey. Did that go to... There we go. That's the list of themes. So there's a bunch of themes here. Theme load forest. Theme load shade. That's kind of nice, but we don't see the status bars anymore. Theme load... Let's see what else. Oh, BIOS. Yeah, let's see BIOS. That's awful. I promise I'm not going to sit here looking at themes the whole time. Oh, right. I wanted to use Solarized Dark, I think, is what I use on my other machine. That looks way better. Okay, cool. CMUS says anything better than Soju? Yes, I think Soju is probably the best IRC bouncer at the moment in terms of simplicity and feature set. So I would go with Soju if I was setting up a bouncer from scratch. So this actually looks pretty good in my opinion. Now I have to get back to the chat. There we go. So it's cool. You can also configure things pretty well. Like for instance, what was it called? Occupants hide. I can hide that list of occupants on the side there. Occupants. Let's see, what is it? Default hide to make it not ever show up unless I want it to. What else? Status bar. You can configure what's in the status bar. So like, was it self? Where's Knack? We haven't seen Knack in a while. Off. Yeah, you can take your own name out of there if you don't want to have to see your name. You can also do the tab. Let's see, status bar, tab mode. Default activity list. Nah, it's, what is it? There we go. There's another one for numbers. So help status bar. How about that? Tab mode. Max tabs. I see. Status bar. Okay, got it. I think it's the only ones that have activity. There's another way to change all this. But anyway. Oh, okay, I see. Activity too. Nice. There's a way to set the names too. Chat. Show, name, number, name. Okay, name. There we go. Okay, now you can see the actual names of the chat rooms. Jeez, it took a while. They're a little bit long too, so you can actually set status bar. Was it tablen? Yeah, so you can set that like 15 or something if you want to shorten it. But then you have names that look the same. So I don't know. You can't really. I haven't seen a way to truncate those in a way that makes them unique. But anyway, it's pretty nice. And you have this just sitting in its own terminal around somewhere, and you can just consult it all day. Now, obviously, you don't have Emacs key bindings. Oh, wait, you actually do have Emacs key bindings. So if you start typing things, you can use normal Emacs key bindings. I don't know if they're using like the read line library or something, but you can hit Control-K to delete text. It actually has a kill ring, so if you press Control-Y, it pastes text back in. So if you've already got Emacs, vanilla Emacs key bindings in your fingertips, a lot of this stuff does actually work, which is cool. Yeah, I'm just like typing gibberish. That's what I do to test my keyboard. I just type gibberish. So, anything worth talking about related to this client? Is any questions that people have about it? Because I don't really know like what else I want to show. I literally just started using it today, and I quite like it. I might continue using it. Oh, the other thing is the things I just set in the settings. You can type /save. It doesn't give you any feedback on that. Oh, it says saving preferences in the status buffer. But if you go into Emacs and check out config, profanity, profrc, it actually saves the things that you put in there so that when you load the program again, we'll have those same settings. So it's kind of a nice way to configure the program just by using commands and experimenting with it a little bit to get it how you like it. And then you can just save that out without having to go and like edit the config file and reopen the program a bunch of times, which is cool. LNAV, best log following and filtering tool I've used. That actually sounds pretty useful to me. Let me drop that on the list. Is that on here though? LNAV. Nope, it's not in Geeks. Hey Cherry, nice to see you. The link to the client, just look for profanity-im.github.io or just search for Profanity XMPP and you'll find it. So, can you try that AI terminal? It sounds crazy. Which one are we talking about? You mean the one we did last week? Yeah. We're not doing that again. .5 billion hacking? Okay. Oh, there's another thing that I found today as well. What was it called? Help commands. There's a way to do nick colors. So let me see. Whoops. The other thing that's nice is you can use this as a normal chat protocol. You know, if you want to replace like Telegram, WhatsApp, or other messengers that you use, XMPP is great for that. And you can do it in the terminal, which is cool. You don't need any kind of weird bridges to do it just with XMPP. What is mood? Mood set happy. So you can set your mood here. Why? Mood on. Mood set. Frazzled. God, I don't want to set that forever. Mood clear. Let's clear my mood here. There's definitely some interesting features in XMPP that have been around for a while. Theme, time, URL, /guard, software, role receipts, silence, splash. Was it color? I think it's color. Color. Blue off on own. Yeah, let me get the help for that. Help color. Enable color generation for own nick. On, off. Enable or disable nick colorization. So if I say color on, and then I will go back over to this list. I think I have to do something like, oh, there it is. Now you can see that everybody has unique colors on their names, which is cool. Try it, let it loose. What, warp.dev? What is this? It's loading a YouTube video. The agentic development environment. I'm not interested. Eric, the mail client that Drew DeVault did. I haven't used that. Okay. I guess that's it for Profanity. Profanity is a nice tool because it gives you the ability to do all the things you want to do with XMPP in the terminal. As you can see, it's a pretty decent experience. It's got a lot of features, like the things that you would want to do extra effort in Emacs to set up in an IRC client, like ERC or RCIRC or Circ. I don't know how people pronounce it. The things that you would want to do in those clients is actually basically for free in this one. You just have to kind of configure it a little bit. So it's good from that perspective. It's nice tool to use. Termux FTW. Yeah, Termux is great. And I actually need to try this in Termux and see if it's better. You know, I may have mentioned this last week. I definitely mentioned it in the IRC, but Pixel 10 Fold. Man, have you seen these folding phones? I don't really care too much about the fact that it's by Google. What I care about is that the screen, when you fold it out, if you imagine using that as like a mobile computing environment with Termux. You go in terminal mode in Termux with this huge square panel in front of you with like a USB keyboard or a Bluetooth or USB keyboard, like a happy hacking keyboard, basically. You can have it connected by a Bluetooth. You got like a mobile computing environment right there. That's pretty awesome if you think about it. I'm highly tempted, even though it's completely ridiculous, and I don't leave the house enough to justify doing that, but it just seems like a really interesting idea to me. Tendo says, so you use some IRC proxy for Profanity? Yes, this thing called Biboumi. It's an XMPP to IRC gateway, and it works quite well. It seems very stable. I like the way that it's designed. And in fact, you don't have to host it yourself. Biboumi public instance. There's a couple of public instances that you can use, like the irc.jabberfr.org one or hmm.st. You can just go and use one of those and because all you're really doing is joining a chat channel on that server, and it sets everything up for you. Andy says, those folding phones are horrible, just like having a modern electric, almost smart car with fancy features and subscriptions. Well, the software is what's terrible. The hardware is amazing. I don't want all the extra stuff that's on the software side of either of the big two folding phones right now, but definitely the hardware is incredible. All right, anywho. Next. Jafer says, I like the idea in theory, but I'm not confident in their durability or repairability. Is still pretty bad. Yeah, it could be very bad, actually. Next, NNN, file browser. Let's just go ahead and, how about this? We'll just do a new tab, or new terminal. Geeks, shell, NNN, NNN. I don't know anything about NNN, all right? Never tried it before. I'm going to be bumbling around in here. It looks quite like Dired, actually. I'm going to start hitting some keys. This is actually really dangerous now that I think about it. I'm going to hit keys and start deleting files. What am I looking at? What is it saying? What key bindings do I use to move around in here? Projects. Enter. There we go. Code. All right, cool. We're in the code folder. I'm not even sure. What did I press? I pressed F because I'm thinking I'm in Dired right now. How do I get out of here? Q, apparently. Anyway. Okay, so we're gonna, no. What am I saving and loading here? I think one thing it's supposed to do is give you the ability to do previews of files. Oh, you're gonna open Emacs entirely just to open this file? Cherry says, NNN is quite confusing for my small brain. It's confusing to me too, apparently. How do you preview? P? B, no. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up the docs on this thing. I got no idea. I can't believe I just showed up on the screen. GitHub? Good Lord. Do you see that? Anyway. Supercharge your productivity. Yeah, I'm really gonna be productive after what I just saw on my screen. A full-featured terminal file manager is tiny, nearly zero oh, I thought it's like zero coding. And incredibly fast. Designed to be unobtrusive, can analyze disk usage, batch rename, launch apps, pick files. Sounds a lot like Dired and Emacs to me. Tons of plugins. Sounds like Emacs. Live previews. I guess Emacs would do that too. Patch framework. Okay, so it's got patches kind of like the Suckless tools do. Privacy aware, no unconfirmed user data collection. Is that more of a concern these days? Like, do random open source projects have telemetry in them? Seems like a weird thing to mention. The bigger ones that are made by companies obviously do, but this, why would it have it? Less than 3.5 megabytes of memory. Sure, fine. Okay, so let's, tell me how to use it. Configure CD on quit. Okay, that's interesting. Huh. Interesting idea. What does NNNDE do? It's the same, isn't it? Documentation. Manual. Neither of the two things exist. Quick start. Are there wiki pages? Like, tell me how to use this thing. Concepts. Oh, God. Press question mark to see the keybinds. All right. Browse. What's browse? Ah, nice. I mean, that's an interesting idea. Sure. These are all things you can do in a terminal file browser. Eric says, yeah, fail already if the README doesn't explain the common actions you'd like to do. I mean, if I can't go in there and like, you know, get an idea of what I'm doing pretty fast, it's difficult. But it does have a wiki page here that does explain some things, so maybe that's not so bad. I keep hitting shell mode stuff or commands in here. All right, so the Vim key bindings are working. Let's see, what am I looking for? Projects, sites. So this is literally the key bindings I was using in DRED with evil mode, the HJKL Vim keys. So that's kind of funny. Okay, so you can use slash for searching. Oh, I hit Control G and it totally bailed me out of the entire thing. Fantastic. Proj. Okay. I mean, you can navigate around pretty fast, but you can do the same thing in Emacs too. So I don't know, like if you're an Emacs user already, this thing is not super useful. What about the workspaces? How do you get to different workspaces? 2, 3? There clearly are workspaces. Pane. What would they call that? Dual pane? Context. Okay. 4 contexts. Tab and shift tab. All right, there you go. Tab and shift tab. Got it. And then what? You can split it or something? And how you're supposed to open it. Huh. Okay, that's weird. How do you split the thing then? Are you supposed to use 2 different... I see. They're literally using the, what is it called? The DVTM. Work with multiple contexts. Okay, fine. Whatever. They're giving you a solution if you want to use multiple panes, basically. So it's not built in. That's fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be like that. The NNN magic. All right. Unfolds on use. Exquisite stuff you can do. How do I do it? You tell me all these fancy things. You don't tell me what to do. Bookmarks. Configure CD on quit. They have, oh, okay. Image viewing, basically. Live previews. Eric says, I demoed DRED, WDRED to a coworker today, renaming stuff in across deep directories. His mind was blown. Yeah, DRED is awesome. Like, you can't go wrong with DRED. Look. DRED. You just get dropped in the folder where you're at. You can go up and down. Easy. You can rename files easy. You can do all the same stuff. And then you can split the freaking windows and then copy things between them. It's pretty ideal. I think that DRED is a key feature of Emacs. If you're not using DRED, you really should be using it because these other file browsers that are in the terminal, I mean, sure, you can use those too. But if you're already in Emacs, you should be using DRED. Don't use some other graphical file manager. You literally do not need it. It doesn't provide any extra value to you. And I'm not even like an expert at DRED. There's things that I know that you can do with it that I never do. Like for instance, in DRED, there's a way. Oh, and what I'm using here is DRED jump, which I have bound to Control X, Control J. DRED jump is a command that basically puts you in the file system right on the file that you're currently looking at. So that's why it put me right here instead of putting me in my home folder. So what's it called? DRED. There's a way to expand the current folder into the buffer. I can't remember what the command is for that. If anybody remembers, just let me know. Already says, I'm apparently not using DRED properly. Still haven't used batch rename. Batch rename is very useful. Better than using a script sometimes. Tree up. No, it's not that, is it? No, that's not it. What is the command? WDRED. Yeah, I don't think I've used WDRED directly. Dired Y. Why? Is this something that's in like a Dired X? There's like an extension package for Dired. Virtual, I don't know what that is. Downcase, hide all, rename, go to file. God, what is it, man? I think it's built in. Insert subdir. Boom. Okay, so you can have one buffer that has a subdirectory. You basically can open whatever you want into multiple, or sorry, you can have one DRED buffer that represents multiple folders. So if you do this, you can actually say the same thing here, insert subdir, and have multiple subdirectories gathered together inside of the same buffer, and you can do renames that way too, I think. Yeah, DRED toggle read only is the way that you would do the, I think, is it usually Control C, Control Q? No. DRED toggle read only. Control X, Control Q. So if you do that, and then you go and start renaming files using normal Emacs editing commands, and then toggle it back, then it will execute all those renames that you did. So it's kind of interesting. There's multiple ways to do batch renames and other kinds of operations that you might want to do. And this is a live buffer too. If I hit the left paren, is that right? Oh, is it because of read only now? I had done it before. Nope. Interesting. Okay, anyway, DRED hide details. Oh, control? Okay, there it is. All right, cool. Anyway, all the folders do get updated using the same commands. So apparently that was control left paren. So you have these multiple subdirectories in here, and you can see them all. And they're all being updated. So it remembers them, basically. Buffer is read-only. I'm going to kill the buffer. Discard changes? Yes. All right. Anyway, I don't know. NNN. Probably it's cool if you use Vim and you don't have like a good way to do terminal file browsing, but obviously Emacs is superior. And that's just the way it is. Next thing, CMUS. Now, we may not be able to hear the music that comes out of here because it's on a different machine, but at least we can see it. Let me check if I have a folder. No, I don't have any music there. Background music, assets. Okay, I got a folder there that I can use. That's good. That works. So, CMUS is a music player for the terminal. Geeks Shell, CMUS. I haven't used this before. We're going to try it for the first time and see how it goes. What I'm curious about is how to set up the folder for the music that would be played. Pulling in some familiar tools here, FFmpeg, etc. Jerry says, RMPC is simply the best music player. Well, let's see. RMPC music. RMCP, RMPC, right? Terminal-based media player. I have not heard about this one. It uses MPD, apparently, which is cool. No screenshots. Okay, shows images. It's a pretty interesting looking UI, that's for sure. And of course it's written in Rust. But we're gonna look at this one because it's old and it's been there for a while. Did you try Calsay? I don't think that's the kind of tool that's gonna increase anyone's productivity though. I think it's O. Is there like an O? All right, CMUS terminal. That's what it looks like when you actually have music in here. Documentation. Usage. CMUS tutorial. Great. Starting CMUS. Press 5 to switch to the file browser view. Now, you're probably wondering, why aren't you using EMMS? Well, that's because we're not trying to use Emacs tools right now. We're trying to use terminal tools. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm using Vim keybinds for moving around the folder structure. I'm gonna go to videos, system crafters, assets. Now, how do I select this one as the one? Enter and backspace to navigate. Use the arrow keys to highlight a file folder and press A. When you press A, CMUS will move you to the next line down and start adding the file folder. You press A onto your library. So let me go back up one level and press A. And now can I press Q to get out? No, I don't want to quit. Escape? No. Do I press 1? There we go. Okay, so now I have music in the list. And you can search through the artist, basically, of the songs you have. It picks up the, what is it called? The ID3 tags. What are the tags for MP3 files? I can't even remember what they're called. But you can look at the music in that way. You can press enter. I think it will start playing it. I can't hear it. I don't know if you can hear it, but obviously we're playing some music now. So that seems to be all there is to it. Let me see. Can I like make this smaller? So if you have a terminal emulator that can deal with resizing, I think you should be able to just... I actually hear it playing music from the speakers of the computer outside of my headphones right now. So it does work, apparently. How do I stop it, though? S? Spacebar? How do you stop the music? Stop. Now the party starts. Stop. V. That's extremely intuitive. You press V to stop. And to start. C to pause. Enter to play. Okay, you can pause it basically. Fine. So you hit tab to move between the views. I see. Got it. All right, cool. Well, you can't hear that probably, but believe me, it does actually work. It's playing music. I guess it's using Pulse Audio in the command line or something like that to play the audio streams. Try Browse. Well, let's see first if it's in Geeks. I kind of doubt it. Nope, not in Geeks. You can SSH to somewhere and use that? Yeah, sure, you could. Where is my mouse now? There it is. So, cool. I mean, that's something you can definitely use in the terminal if you want to listen to some music and do it in a cool terminal way and impress all your friends. There's the other one that Cherry mentioned, which is RMPC. I doubt that this is going to be in Geeks. Yeah, there's no way because it's a Rust app and they're not very easy to package in Geeks. It uses Firefox behind the scenes. I'm not really a big Firefox fan anymore. It's starting to get kind of annoying. All right. Next, BTOP. Now, this one will really impress you, I think. So, Geeks Shell BTOP. Just look at this thing. Just look at it. When it loads up, you're not going to believe it. It's probably the coolest looking terminal app I've ever seen. And it actually gives quite a lot of really useful information. I mean, you're getting CPU percentages and temperatures across all your CPUs. All your processes are visible as well. Network traffic, memory load, disk usage, literally everything is right in front of your face. And I would definitely have that pinned to a screen all day long, just kind of keeping an eye on things. What is it with the Firefox haters? I don't know, man. They're doing some weird stuff these days. I mean, obviously Google Chrome is made by Google. But Firefox, I don't know what's going on over there. 100% battery. 200 millisecond update time, I guess. That's cool. So anyway, let me show you the one thing I thought was kind of funny about this. You hit escape, and you basically get like a Doom menu screen. Like when I say Doom, I mean like the old video game Doom, or the games of that time where you would have this kind of overlay screen. Options, help, you press enter, and the terminal-based UI is probably one of the best I've ever seen in here, like in terms of the way that it looks and it works. Quite good. Let's see, general. So we have themes. You can use, I think, left and right arrow keys or just enter. Like, what is it? There we go. Wait, why isn't it working? What happened? It's a lot lighter than HTOP. I'm actually surprised to hear that. Why is this not working? I thought I could hit left and right. I swear I did this earlier today. Up and down's not working. Let me try this again. 2. I've never seen that not happen. Wait, hold on. Which computer is it? Yeah, none of them are working. Anyway, you can set you can set the them keys false. So that's not on by default. That's interesting to know. Strange that I can't actually get out of here. Let me try that one more time. Maybe it was just a fluke. Something happened that kept it from working. No. Well, anyway, on that other machine it did work. How is this better than what, you mean? Than Task Manager in Windows? Trust me, it's better. That's really weird that these aren't working. Huh. Up and down does not work. Proced, come on now. You know that this is not, this is way better than Proced. This is way better than Proced. This is incredible. You can also show and hide various sections by pressing the little number that's associated with a section. So if I want to hide the whole memory and disk usage, press 2, it goes away. Press 3, the network goes away. Basically, you can just hide and show whatever you want. If you want to focus on a specific type of performance data for your machine, very easy to do that. Let's see, slash geeks, as Erky said, you could actually filter down to different processes, which is very useful if you want to try to kill something, which is great. And I guess you could probably just keep it there, right? So if I wanted to just keep an eye on all the geeks processes, I could do that. But up and down arrow is not working for me for some reason. I don't know if it's like a foot thing that's happening right now or something else. Pimped up Proced. Yeah, you did say that. Mouse friendly too. Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, I clicked on something and it inserted spaces. I don't know what's happening. Something wrong is happening here. But I don't really blame the program necessarily. It could be something else with my setup. Okay, anyway. So also, I believe, yeah, if the arrow keys worked, you would see that the, okay, we can click on it. You could change the way that it's displaying the information, I guess how it's sorting it effectively. Also process trees. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, this is super good. This is super good, I think, as something that you would just kind of keep open all day long and just kind of keep an eye on it. What are you saying, Bergheimer? What are you saying, man? Okay. So is there anything else cool that I should show in this, Erky? Refresh changing is like plus and minus. You can change the rate, apparently. So if I zoom it down to like about 500 milliseconds, it updates even faster, which probably you don't want to do, because otherwise it's going to use a lot of CPU, reading all these files over and over to get the data. That's pretty dope, though. Apparently he does, Fade. Apparently he does. Now we see it. I think that this is his naughty nick. You know, there's KnightHK, who's you know, a mild-mannered person in the IRC, and then there's Bergheimer, who's just tearing the walls down, basically, inside the room. I can't even quit it. All right. Oh, whoa! What just happened? What key did I hit? Tab? Hold up. Apparently tab is what needs to happen. Okay, it's still not giving me the ability to... Okay, I took a screenshot now. Whatever. Let's quit out of here. So, cool program. Let's see if the web page for this has anything else to say. BTOP Linux. A monitor of resources. All right. Features. Easy to use with a game-inspired menu system, of course. Full mouse support, fast and responsive UI, filter processes, switching between sorting options, scaling graphs, custom presets, themes, which, I mean, if you have a good terminal theme, maybe that's all you need, right? A lot of themes here. 24-bit true color terminal support. Yeah, it does look good whenever you have 24-bit color because it uses it quite well. Zayma says, BTOP looks surprisingly similar to a tool called BashTop. Are they different? I don't know. It's by the same person. Wait. BashTop is written in Bash. BTOP++ is written in C++. So maybe that is a good reason to use the BTOP++ version. That's a cool program, though. Like, kudos to the author of that. That is really, really good. Anything else worth doing here? There's configuration parameters. Cool. Let me actually pull up the pages for these projects so that I can refer to them in the show notes for people who are interested to look these up later. Where is my Emacs? What happened? Here it is. All right, so I'll just drop that one in, and then also the BTOP. I'm going to drop that one in here. All right, and NNN, we saw that before. I'm going to go straight to GitHub for this one. I'm not going back to the original thing that we searched for that I'm going to be scarred for life for seeing. Oh, that was NNN. How did I get that wrong? Hello. And then Profanity we have right there. Okay. Cool. So that was the list of things that I had that I wanted to try. Let's try FZF because I've never used that before. I'm not sure exactly how you set that up though. So let's check out the FZF page. Command line fuzzy finder. I'm guessing I need to have this as, oh. Is that the AI thing that we were just talking about? Links is cool. I've not used links in a long time. Geeks shell links. Links. Let's just open it up real fast just for fun. And see what it's like these days. We'll open the System Crafters website. Okay. I'm kind of surprised at the colors in here. I thought it would just be like really old looking. What are the Q to quit? No, I don't want to quit. Excellent. Okay, fine. Space for next page. How do you go up and down in this thing? I'm expecting Emacs key bindings, but it's not working. G for go. HTTP systemcrafters.net. I mean, it looks pretty decent. And I can use the scroll wheel for it to scroll through everything. Can I click on links with the mouse? Let's see. System Crafters newsletter. I'm going to click on it. Did it work? How do you move to something on the screen? Normally use right arrow or return to activate. Right arrow? Enter? tab. Okay, tab is cycling through the links. Location URL is not absolute. Fine, go there. All right, cool. It works. That's cool. That's great. I mean, it's links. Nothing too special, but if you want to go into a website in the terminal, you can definitely use that. Okay, so Geeks shell, FZF. Let's see. It's going to be on my path. Hopefully that's enough. Does it need to be added to my shell config or just on the path? Huh. It looks like it's indexing everything here. Let's see. August. Wow, it's fuzzy matching like crazy out here. 29th? 29th? Yeah, it hasn't made it to all the rest of the folders yet. 2025. Wow. I wonder what kind of index is building. What else could I have here? System crafters. Yeah. And it's adding new things as it goes, it seems. Look at some old Emacs from scratch notes. Ah, interesting. Okay. Huh. So it seems like you could use that in... yeah, you said an hour ago. It's in the list because you said it, right? So how do you use this in practice? Like, what do you do? Obviously, it gave me the path back. You could embed it into a shell command or the command line itself. Usage. Got it. Interactive Finder, nice for pipelining. Yeah, and I see that. If you use it as use it as a sub shell, then it gets sent as a parameter to parameter to another command. That makes sense. Fade says, don't argue with Vim users about terminal stuff. This is where they live. Yes. Artie says the tricks involve some piping, something I'm not good at. Yeah, I'm not really good at it either because I don't really use the shell very much. Turn itself into a different process. Okay, that's cool. Control K, Control J to go up and down. Okay, you can use Emacs key bindings too. There's also a multi-select mode. Okay, you got a TMUX pop-up mode as well. That's interesting. Okay, so you can actually put some other stuff into it to make the UI look a little bit better. Shell integration, paste selected files and directories into the command line. Fuzzy completion. Ah, that's kind of interesting. So basically, it's a super powered completion system in the terminal too, I guess. Process IDs. Okay, that's cool. You have to do star star and then tab. Is that what I'm seeing here? Is like kind of a special little thing. Completion trigger. Got it. Custom fuzzy completion. Vim plugin. Okay. That's kind of cool. Control R replacement. So what is that? History. Yeah, but I don't have it set up in my terminal though. I don't have it set up in my bash shell, which would require tweaking Geeks, and I don't really think I want to do that right now. No manual entry. Okay. How does that get set up anyway? Where is it? What did I just see? Is that it? Yeah, I would like to not have to do that either in the shell. It'd be nice if I could just have something that would allow me to search it. Scheme history. Oh, FZF-man. Ah. History. Oh, come on now. Whatever. It does look backwards. It's supposed to work like that, gal. Anyway, that's cool. I like the idea. I'm not in the shell enough for it to matter, so it doesn't really matter too much to me. I'm kind of curious about this Zoxide, though. It might be useful in various different ways. Let's see. Let me just pull this up, actually. Let's do it that way. And was there another one that I wanted to look at? LNAV. It's not in Geeks. Got it. Okay, Zoxide. You can add a new directory. You can edit the database. Zoxide. Edit. Okay, so it does have a UI, actually. Huh. How do you get out of here? Control Q. Okay. Add a new entry. Smarter CD. So basically, you just change CD. Do you alias this to CD? Is that the way this works? Ugh. Unrecognized subcommand. CD help. Man Zoxide. Do I have to actually use it manually for this to work? Alias CD. I did that just now. So alias CD equals Zoxide, right? Is that not right? It doesn't work the way that it's supposed to. Unless there's a way that you're supposed to pass it through or something. CDZ? Not like that. Obviously, I'm not setting it up right. Zoxide. Yeah, I'm using bash. Hook. Oh, Zoxide and knit. I see. I did that already, dude. Didn't you see it? Set up in your shell. Eval, Zoxide and knit bash. Well, it won't be able to edit my bash configuration. Unless it just gets run. Okay. All right, cool. So that is doing it live in the shell session. Let's just do that. Eval. Yes. Where is the $sign? There it is. Zoxide. As I said before, I'm not a touch typer, apparently. Got it. So I did that here. Didn't work. All right, so Z works. I must have broken CD. Is there a way to remove an alias? Aliases. Can I delete an alias? unalias. That's right, Fade. It's too safe. Okay, so it did jump me back to the home directory. That's for sure. No match found. Fine. Z proj. No match found. I don't know how it's supposed to work. Maybe this will be helpful. Seed into a path once. Okay. We'll remember it next time. Z foo. Oh, I tried that. Okay, that time it worked. Space and tab to resolve confusion. I see. Okay. So I guess for me, it's not really so useful. Yeah, I'm really selling it, aren't I? It's not really so useful because in Emacs, I'm using project.yl like most of the day to jump to the stuff that I care about. I don't really need to have like that kind of thing because if I do Control X PP, and let's say I choose emacsPackages.com and then S. Okay, it doesn't work in this configuration. If I do other S, okay. This config doesn't have it, but my actual config I use every day does have it to where it will open a shell in that location for that project. So I don't know. It's not really something that seems like it would change my life, but maybe it would. Who knows? But like I said, I'm not really in the shell so much. And I use MetaX shell more often these days. Yes, I have Emacs already, so I don't really need the same stuff. The database must obviously be built, yes, but at the same time, I'm not in the shell enough for it to be built, so it doesn't really help me. Doesn't help me. But it might help someone else who actually is in the shell a lot, so. Fast fetch, neo fetch. Is that just the getting the system details? There we go. I used to have my own Z thing in eShell where it would go back to previous directories, but that was when I was still used the shell a lot. FZF. I keep copying things instead of pasting the link. All right. Fade says, Z-Shell already CDs without the command. What more do you need? Yeah. Andy said, oh. Andy says, I use my shell for everything, and so Zoxide is really handy. Well, Bergheimer says that he's shown me the way of using Emacs shell, but at the same time, he's using all this other fancy crap in a normal terminal emulator. So I don't know what to believe from you, dude. Anyway. So, oh man, I've been missing the YouTube chat the whole time because it was off the screen. And Thomas says, just quit the shell and eval again. You're probably right. And let's see, eval fzf bash. Okay, super stay up gave me the detail on that. Let's see. Let's go back to. Hold up. I've got too many windows and I'm going side by side through them. All right, here we are. So the same thing, eval $fzf -- Okay, so then what, Control R? Okay, that's cool. I mean, in the terminal, that would be pretty nice. Raj. Who? Yeah, okay. And then you can pull that back in. That I would use, okay? FZF in that capacity for Control R, I would absolutely use. because that looks pretty good. But that also looks like things you can get in Emacs, in eShell, or probably other shells if you set it up correctly. So it's not like it's a big difference. MD says, on the recent prevalence of hustle culture among miners in the United States. Well, I'll give you an answer for that one. The job market is looking pretty damn bleak. So I think, people who are young are probably looking for ways to make money that don't require getting a standard job, because there's no guarantee that going to college is going to get you a job. So maybe that's why hustle culture has become prevalent in miners in the United States. I am Emacs. What are we talking about now? Okay, what else did I miss in the chat here? Did you talk about Atene at all? Kev says, Atene is the most useful thing I've recently adopted. As I was saying earlier, if you need to sync your command history between machines, I think you have a different problem, which is you need to be making scripts that you check in to your source repository, or documenting the commands you need to run for things a little bit better, because, I don't know, it kind of seems like a crutch in a way. That's my opinion. Okay, I'm sure it's a great tool. A lot of people like it, but I don't know, man. Never go full Batman. Anyway, but don't listen to me, actually. Don't listen to me. I'm the guy who comes here every Friday complaining about a different computer issue, or I broke my system because I tried to do like a Geeks pull or set up something else or whatever. So just don't listen to me, all right? I have 100 opinions, and 0 of them actually mean anything, because I have my own problems that I cause for myself on a daily basis. So why can you really listen to me anyway? Why should you? You are definitely taking over for summer Emacs, but there's not enough emojis. Okay, you got to actually crank up the emoji factor by about 10 or 20 for it to really, be the same. You have to have emojis for everyone's nickname, custom emojis, plus all the extraneous emojis for everything else as well. Because she's not covered in hair. That's the standards we're living with today. Cal says, what you and we in general need is an official LTS Geeks channel. Well, technically we have that. I mean, you could pin your channel list whatever you want, which I do usually. I don't update that often, but sometimes I do because I'm trying to fix something that is a problem. Like the most recent thing that I had, which was that my graphics driver would start freezing my system completely. And then it turned out that it was a kernel parameter that I could set. I tried 4 or 5 different kernel versions, and it ended up being a kernel parameter that I had to set. Because you love me, thank you. I love all of you as well. Okay, I think that's time, right? Did we learn anything today? Did we learn anything? Would I use any of these programs? Okay, the 2 programs out of everything we saw today that I would definitely use are obviously Profanity and BTOP. Those I'm going to be using. Obviously, I can use Jabber.el and Emacs for XMPP, but I think Profanity is it's a solid client, and I would prefer to use that in the terminal than I would rather use Gajim or Dino. So these are okay. They're graphical clients, but you don't need all that stuff. You don't need all that, in my opinion. I mean, it's okay. It looks cool, right? It looks kind of like Discord. I mean, if you have a theme on it. But you don't really need all that. Did I do Dust, a DU replacement? I did not hear about that one. Let's see. Whoop, wrong window. Let's see. Did I move my whole workspace? Apparently I did. And I've forgotten the damn key binding I used to move. There it is. Thank God. Okay. What's it called? Dust? DU Dust? That must be it. Okay, let's try that one then. See how long that takes. Indexing. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Interesting. You can see certain files that I have that I downloaded from shady places. Why not use curl? Apparently, that's the biggest folder that I have in my home folder. I wonder why. Oh, okay. So it basically just prints something out and there's no like interactive view. That's cool. That's fine, right? So, why not just use curl? For what? Fast fetch? What is this? Display system information in a stylized manner. Okay. The logo of the system distribution. I wonder if they had this set up correctly for geeks. This is the last one we'll try. Bats. Did you check TDF? I have not heard that one. Super Stay Up says, did you see LazyGit? LazyGit looks really good, but it's not in Geeks. It looks really good, though. Okay, this is basically the same kind of thing. I mean, it's got the little Geeks horns, which is cool. Okay. I still think BTOP is cooler. TDF. No, it's not in Geeks. All right, so back to what I was trying to do to wrap up here. What did we learn today? Terminal apps can be cool. I should also pull that up real quick. LazyGit. You should see it at least because it is quite good. Do they have like a... wow. Does this warp thing sponsor a lot of different projects, or is it just like a couple? Anyway, look at this. It looks kind of like Magic, right? Some nice panes on either side. If you look at the log view, it's got the nice little like track lines and stuff for all the files. It supports rebasing, supports fix-ups, supports work trees, supports a lot of stuff. INXI is more useful than fast fetch. I have to look at it. But not right now, though. So, yeah, anyway, LazyGit would be a cool one if it was in Geeks. We would have been able to see it, but obviously not today. This is LazyGit. It's a, no, it's Terminal. I have to say, though, I'm kind of missing Magic these days because, you know, VC mode's fine. You may see me readopt a couple of things here and there because, you know, it's the vanilla Emacs experience thing I've been doing has been going well, but there's a couple things that I could improve upon for my... There's a couple things I could improve upon for my quality of life, and Magic's one of those. This vanilla thing is so 2024. 2024? Anyway. Okay. I think Faye may have been talking to me, Berkheimer. I don't know. So, anywho, Profanity and BTOP. Check those out. Those are cool. And also, I will say once again, set up an XMPP server. It's a great thing to do. You will not regret it. Maybe I'll show you how to do that next week with Geeks. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you've watched to this point, or just let me know in the IRC chat or whatever. If you want to see me set up an XMPP server from scratch with Geeks, and we'll try to do that next week. All right, well, thank you all for being here today. Really appreciate your time and attention. Hope you all have a great weekend. Until next time, happy hacking. We'll see you. Gotta find the place to click the button to make it go away. Go away now. Bye-bye. See ya.